Hello and welcome. My name is Craig. This is my PCT 2025 Thru Hike, attempted Thru Hike announcement. I'm out on a training walk right now. I'm in the Twin Cities area. This is an old railroad track that was converted years ago to a multi-use outdoor recreation trail. So, because it was a railroad track, that means there's virtually no grade. Because it's a city recreation trail, it means it's perfectly maintained year-round. They plow it, they level it, they put fresh dirt down. So, in other words, it's nothing at all like the Pacific Crest Trail. But this is what I have convenient that I can do my training walks on. This trail is, one section of it is only a couple blocks from my house, so I put my gear on, I walk out the door, and I'm training. Today, the temperature when I left home was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. A pretty mild day for this part of the country at this time of year, but still a little chilly. There's a little bit of a breeze. So when I got dressed for my walk, I put on all of my winter hiking gear. It's not a lot, but intended to be enough to keep me warm without overheating in chilly temperatures. So I had only been out walking at a brisk pace for about a mile and a half, I suppose, and I felt myself overheating. So I took the first opportunity to stop, and I took off my puffy, and I'm down to mid-layer and base layers. There's not much wind resistance in my mid-layers, base layers, so my arms are a bit chilly. I can feel the wind blowing when it does, but my core is warm and I'm not uncomfortable. So this is probably for a shakedown, which is part of what this is. It's not just training, but it's a shakedown with some new gear that I purchased for this trip. What I'm learning is, depending on the wind, of course, I shouldn't be hiking with my puffy on in these temperatures or above. So, good learning while I'm getting a little bit into shape. So my videos are intended for my historical record of interest to a few people other than myself historically, but also during this year while I'm hiking, I have a number of family and friends that are interested. Nobody in my immediate circle of family and friends have ever done a thru hike, nor, to my knowledge, know anyone personally that has done a thru hike. So I'm going to be doing videos that will have many of the sights and sounds that I feel are interesting and informative for those that frankly think I'm a bit crazy. maybe more than a bit crazy. So you'll see through these videos, I'll be explaining terminology. There's, like every group of individuals doing a particular activity, there's always the secret inside lingo that they can talk to among themselves about or with. So I'll be using that terminology as I go. I've learned much of it over the years watching other vloggers that have hiked long trails. This, by the way, is my first long trail. I've done quite a number of camping trips, car camping, backpacking, canoeing, even a little bit of bike packing long ago. But to date, everything I've done has been in the 1 week or so time frame, because that's what conveniently fits into a regular life of work and family obligations. So this will be by far the biggest adventure, solo adventure, that I've ever attempted. So I'm still a few weeks out, not many, but a few weeks out from the start of my hike. I currently have most of my gear. I have a couple smaller things yet to decide on and purchase. So starting on about Black Friday of last year, I am into 2025 right now. I did start purchasing a pretty wide variety of gear. Most of the gear that I'll be taking with me. In the past, I've done primarily warm weather hikes and camping, and for budget reasons, it's usually been gear that was purchased off the closeout rack or other various sales that I would find throughout the years. But that meant that the gear was not always high performing or as light as I would like. So this being a significant challenge for me, this hike, and also an important life goal for me, I decided to break loose enough budget to purchase mostly upgraded gear. So hence some of what I'm doing is not just getting in shape a little bit, but making sure that I've made appropriate choices with my gear purchases. So another part of the preparation for this trail is making some choices on different constraints or parameters for how I intend to hike. So I will be a no-bow, a northbounder, which means I start in just outside of Campo, California, small town near the Mexican border. I'll walk to the southern terminus from Campo, touch the Mexican wall, turn around, and start hiking. 2,650 miles of official trail until you get to the Canadian border. So, official trail, because it's been many years since I've heard of anyone completing the Pacific Crest Trail on the official PCT trail route. The problem is there have been fires in all 3 states, California, Oregon and Washington, every year, typically multiple, that have forced hikers to go around. Can't walk through a fire, can't walk through a fresh burn zone, can't walk through an area that is near enough to a fire that it might be burning soon. So walking around or detouring around a fire closure is a standard part of hiking these days, unfortunately. So continuous footpath says when the trail is closed, you go around, but you walk around. You don't take shuttles, you don't accept hitchhiking, you take the road walk and go around the fire closure. So, depending on where the fires are, how big they are, will determine how long of a detour I'll have to be walking to get around the closure. If you're lucky, there might be forest roads that are nearby that will get around the closure. If you're not lucky, you might be walking several miles, many miles, getting around the closure. So starting with the plan to do a continuous footpath is not an easy choice, and I won't know until I'm done with the trail what the cost of that choice might be. But that's the plan getting started, and I will adjust as necessary, if necessary, throughout the course of my hike. Another choice I've made getting started is that I do not plan to be listening to music or podcasts or books on tape. That's a somewhat common activity that people can do on trail. Walking every day, all day, for months on end can be quite monotonous. So many people choose some kind of distraction or entertainment to break up that monotony. My choice to not do that is not any better of a choice than what other people make. It's just my choice. One of the things I'm attempting to do during this hike is to learn to live and be in the moment. So, eyes up, looking around, interacting with nature, and trying not to step on rattlesnakes. I already have a small amount of hearing loss, so I do have to be more aware than some about being able to hear and see rattlesnakes on trail. One venomous bite is a pretty quick ticket to be off trail, potentially ending the hike. So at least in the desert section of Southern California, that's something I'm going to be cognizant of and doing my best to stay safe.